Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for Aladdin, which is the fourth movie in Disney's Renaissance, and is once again directed by Clements and John Musker, the same duo responsible for The Little Mermaid. The movie takes place in the fictional city of Agrabah and follows a street rat named Aladdin and his monkey sidekick Abu. The two of them are basically trying to survive within the streets of Agrabah because they're poor. But it doesn't take long for Aladdin to meet Princess Jasmine, who is in disguise as a peasant woman within the marketplace because her father, the Sultan, wants her to marry a prince by her next birthday, and she doesn't want any part of that because every suitor that is presented to her just doesn't work. So Aladdin is in love with Princess Jasmine. They spend a day together in the market and he is just head over heels for Princess Jasmine. But she's a princess. The only way he'd even have a shot at getting with her is if he was himself a prince. Well, fate actually comes into play in a very odd way because the Sultan's royal advisor, Jafar, who is not at all shady in the slightest, recruits Aladdin to go to the Cave of Wonders and retrieve a lamp. Jafar fails to get the lamp, but Aladdin awakens it and unleashes the Genie, who grants him 3 wishes, and while Aladdin is trying to attempt to get with Princess Jasmine, Jafar is on his own mission to try to get the lamp and rule Agrabah as Sultan. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. If you've been following me for a couple of years, or if you've seen my review for Beauty and the Beast, you know that this is my favorite Disney animated movie of all time. Not just within the Renaissance, but period. Everything about Aladdin for me is Disney perfection, and ironically, it's one of the Disney movies that I have watched the least growing up. It's a weird pattern that I find with other movies in a series or a brand that I love. For example, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite Harry Potter movie. It's the one I watched the least growing up. Empire Strikes Back, my favorite Star Wars movie. It's the one I watched the least growing up as well. I hope it's not an uncommon occurrence with other people. But back to Aladdin, there's just so much that I love about this movie right off the bat. For one, it's another Disney musical in the vein of Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, and the songs are once again done by Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, but unfortunately Howard Ashman passed away a couple of months before the release of Beauty and the Beast. He had heart failure due to HIV and AIDS, which means that he also passed away during production of Aladdin. So Tim Rice comes in to take Ashman's place and basically help write the rest of the songs. And every single song in this movie I love. There is not one that I can look at and go, yeah, that was good, but not as good as the others, or that one could have easily been cut. No, I love them all. Arabian Nights, One Step Ahead, Friend Like Me, Prince Ali, and the Oscar-winning A Whole New World. Which ironically, as much as Howard Ashman was responsible for the lyrics of some of the most iconic Disney songs, this one he didn't work on. Tim Rice was the one responsible for the lyrics, and it's a damn fine song. I absolutely love it. And Tim Rice also was responsible for One Step Ahead, whereas Howard Ashman wrote the lyrics for Arabian Night, Prince Ali, and Friend Like Me. I just love all the songs in this movie, and it's really hard to pick which one of them is my favorite because they're all so good and so catchy. And all of the characters are memorable as well. I think one of the things that makes Aladdin stick out to me the most as being my favorite Disney movie, and this is going to sound incredibly sexist the way I put it, but it's because your main character is a guy. It just seems a little more relatable to me. And what I really like about Aladdin is he fends for himself, he's smart, he's cunning, but he's also kind. He's not really ignorant, he's not selfish. Well, at a certain point in the movie he is, but he's still very thoughtful towards others. And you really get a sense of that honor with the beginning and the end of the movie. Then you have Princess Jasmine, who is one of the most iconic Disney princesses out there. And much like with Beauty and the Beast, both Aladdin and Jasmine are a great Disney power couple. Their chemistry is just magic. They work so well off each other. And while I can definitely see a lot of people having problems with Aladdin lying to Princess Jasmine about being a prince, it doesn't bother me as much as it should. And I think because Jasmine and Aladdin actually spent a day together for a while when Jasmine was in disguise in the marketplace. And so Jasmine fell in love with Aladdin the street rat. And even when Aladdin tries to pass himself off as a prince, I think Jasmine can see past his bullshit. But because she fell in love with Aladdin from the marketplace, I think she's kind of okay with it. I don't know. I would love to hear a woman's perspective on this situation if you find Aladdin lying to Jasmine as problematic. Whatever your opinion is, just let me know in the comments below. But for me personally, I think the two of them are maybe Disney's best couple. Jafar is a flat-out fantastic villain. Sure, he's more obvious than someone like Gaston was in Beauty and the Beast, but he represents the best elements of a lot of classic Disney villains. The way he's designed and the way he's animated, you could tell that there's a sense of sliminess to him, and Jonathan Freeman's voice performance just gives Jafar that extra edge of sinister that I absolutely love in a villain. And I even enjoy Gilbert Gottfried as Iago, Jafar's parrot, even though he yells all of his lines like this, and it might get annoying to some people. I found it amusing. There are actually a lot of points throughout this movie where I found Iago to be funny, and it really had to do with Gilbert Gottfried's performance. But with all that said, he cannot beat the big star of this movie. The one character that everyone remembers from Aladdin, maybe more than Aladdin himself, the Genie, voiced by the legendary Robin Williams. It's still sad to realize that Robin Williams is no longer with us. It's been 7 years since his passing in 2014. And I'm probably pointing out the obvious, but whenever I watch Aladdin, you can really see how brilliant of an improv Robin Williams is. I'm sure there's a lot in the movie that's scripted, but the role of the Genie is so tailored to Robin Williams' sensibilities that nobody can even top him, which is why I really appreciated the live-action version for casting Will Smith, because they knew they weren't going to recreate what Robin Williams did, so it made sense for Will Smith to make the Genie his own. And everything that comes out of Robin Williams' mouth in this movie as the Genie is spot on. It's really funny, but it's also very heartfelt, especially when we get to the end of the movie where Aladdin wishes the Genie's freedom. The ending really does hit harder than ever knowing that Robin Williams is not with us anymore. And I think more than ever, Robin Williams' Genie set a precedent for Disney sidekicks going forward, for better and for worse, where they're played by really big A-list names, and they can be more goofy than you would think. Some of the more recent examples that come to mind are Awkwafina in Raya and the Last Dragon, and Dwayne Johnson in Moana. Even beyond Robin Williams as the Genie, the humor of this movie is spot on, and I feel like this movie may have been the prototype for what Shrek would eventually become. I mean, this movie was made back in the day when Jeffrey Katzenberg was still president of Disney Studios, and as we all know, he would be the founder and CEO of DreamWorks Animation, and Ron Clements and John Musker would co-write the script of this movie with Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, who would later go on to co-write Shrek. But the fact that this movie manages to balance a more modern approach to animated movies and a classic Disney feel to it makes it that much more impressive. And I honestly don't have that much to talk about in terms of criticisms. If I had any nitpicks, it's that who in their right mind would look at Jafar and go, yes, this is my most trusted advisor. I mean, the Sultan in this movie is very gullible and naive, so of course he would think that Jafar is trustworthy. And I know a lot of people have criticized the actor who plays Jafar in the live-action version, and I'm one of those people, but after watching this again, I guess if I could give Jafar in that version a little leeway, it's that he doesn't look anywhere near as slimy as Jafar in the animated movie. So I guess there's that, but that's all I have to say in terms of a nitpick. And let me re-emphasize that it is a nitpick. It is not something that I find to be a legit criticism. And this movie's damn perfect. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it in my eyes. The characters are classic, the animation is gorgeous, the songs are memorable as hell, and not one of them sticks out like a sore thumb. It is just as perfect of a Disney movie as it can be. So I don't think it's any surprise in the slightest that I'd say get off your ass and go see it right now. Beauty and the Beast was my 42nd favorite movie of all time. Aladdin is my 23rd favorite of all time. I just absolutely adore this movie. Yeah, that's all I have to say. If you haven't seen this movie for some reason, please watch it, because it is truly one of Disney's best and my personal favorite. And there you go, that's my review for 1992's Aladdin, which not only was the highest grossing movie of that year, but was the highest grossing animated movie of all time. And it held that position for 2 years, until The Lion King came out in 1994, which I will be reviewing next week. So for those of you wondering what my thoughts are on the original Lion King, you'll find out next week. But first, I want to know what you guys think about Aladdin. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one. Hello everyone, I just wanted to say thank you all for watching my review for Aladdin. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, go check out my Twitch channel, and support me on Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.